Ben, a 3-1 win today at Southall. Not just any win, an away win on AstroTurf. What are your thoughts?
Like I said, we've seen few people mention about the AstroTurf thing. You know, I've never want to buy into that excuse, just because we train on it. So I've never entertained that one. But obviously, you know, our games of recent on AstroTurf haven't, you know, gone as we wanted. But today, you know, I think scoring 3 goals, backing up a win from Tuesday, was really important just to keep, you know, ourselves in and amongst the top end of the table.
It was before the game when we saw the team sheet. Borough fans in the bar were trying to work out formation, who's playing where. It was an attacking looking lineup because obviously we had Leo, Donnell, Jordan and Dan all starting, and a flat back 4. What were your thoughts behind selection and formation today?
I was probably, you know, in the last 48 hours just as baffled as the fans were in the bar this morning, because, you know, me and Keegs have gone back and forth over the last day or so, kind of throwing ideas at each other, you know, testing each other as well, which, you know, we do often because, you know, we don't just agree with what someone says. We kind of go back if we've got a thought and ideas, and, you know, Keegs expressed an idea and we were kind of, would it work, wouldn't it work, working out different ways that, you know, that could hurt them and they could hurt us if we were to change. And we thought just having a bit of a freshen up, and we thought with the forwards that we've got, you know, we could go and take the game away from them at times, and, you know, hopefully get ourselves ahead. With the 4 centre halves, you know, we asked them to do a job and just, you know, be nice and solid, defend, you know, back to basics pretty much, and let the forwards do the top end of the pitch work. So that was, you know, the idea behind it. You know, credit to Keeks because he was a massive driving force behind it. But we kind of, you know, we've obviously come to the right decision. But that did take a lot of back and forth and making sure we did get things right.
In terms of the game itself and the pattern of play, it was a little bit similar to Tuesday against Horndean, end to end. I think both teams could have had easily 2 or 3 more goals. It could have been something like 6-4, and I don't think anyone would have really been too surprised. Were you happy with, you know, the pattern of play and how open it was? Was that something you were planning for, expected?
The thing is, when you've got 4 forwards on the pitch, and, you know, your opposition pretty much do the same, it's always going to be like that. You know, you're going to get, when you've got them on the pitch, you're going to want the ball to get towards them as quick as possible. So when we retain the ball, we want our forwards on the ball. We want to get in behind teams. You know, and that's kind of the pattern from both sides today. So it was always going to look like that. When you go, you know, 2-3-1 up, I'd like to see us potentially take a bit of a grip on the game and take a bit of the sting out of it a little bit more, instead of having to just give away fouls to slow it down. But that's something that, you know, we will work on. But yeah, at times you're right, it was end to end. In terms of the chances, you know, it's something that I said at half time, it's something I've said a couple of weeks ago. At this level of football, it becomes, you know, accepting that you're not taking chances, and then it becomes, you know, a problem. I think the 3rd goal today was very important, because you saw by the last 10 minutes of how much pressure they put us under. Doesn't matter where you go, whatever team, whatever level, if you're coming away from home and you're winning 3-1 towards the dying ends, they're going to throw everything at it to try and get themselves a result. So we managed to do well with that. You know, Gertz's defensive clearance off the line, Macca's save, you know, it's probably, you know, one of the best saves I've seen in a long time, to keep the score where it was. But yeah, listen, it was always going to be that type of game, but I'm pleased, you know, with how we conducted ourselves.
You touched upon the 3rd goal there, which was scored by Donnell. Obviously got 2 goals today. Just a word for him on, obviously he's rejoined recently, word for him, and I thought as well as his 2 goals, work rate as well was excellent today.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that we've kept in touch with in the last, you know, couple of years. You know, Keegs has played with him before, and he liked the idea of what we were trying to do here. We felt that he would suit, you know, the style of play that we want. I've always been a big believer, and I've said this in an interview before, if your forwards aren't going to get on the score sheet, then work hard. As long as you're doing something to affect the game, and people aren't just coming off thinking, oh, you know, all he did was miss that chance for us, then, you know, you're in a good place. And you've just said it there, he works extremely hard, so does every forward that we've got. You know, I think Willow deserves a mention today as well. You know, he's probably kicking himself at a couple of chances that he's missed, but people that watch the game, you know, with a wider eye will notice how much hard work he puts in defensively, and to get himself in positions and to get himself assists. So, you know, the forwards, Darnell's come into a forward pack that does a bit of everything. They work hard, and he scored 2 today, so they scored goals.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned that you had four forwards on the pitch, but particularly obviously with Donnell's 2 goals and obviously Leo getting the other one. Obviously everyone's aware of his start to the season. Just what are your hopes for? Even though there was 4 of them on the pitch today, what are your hopes for how things could progress with Leo and Donnell as a partnership and link up play? Obviously they combined for the 3rd goal.
Yeah, well, we've got 4 top forwards on the pitch today that many teams would probably bite your hand off to have. Whilst we're talking about those 4, we're also missing number 5, which is Jeffro. Who's cool. in himself is a player that we were chasing all summer because of his return last year for Flatwell, and add him to the pack. Suddenly I've got a huge headache. But what we've been able to do, is rotate. We've been able to move them positions. We've been able to touch on little different shapes when there's 2. People are wide, so they kind of fit the profile of what we want. And when someone comes out the side and is replaced by another forward, they know exactly what they're asked to do, and they do it. So they're working together as a little mini team amongst the squad, and they're delighted when each other scores, and that's what it's about.
Finally, no midweek game this week, so next Saturday, next league game is Leatherhead at home next Saturday. Your thoughts ahead of that one?
Listen, tough game. They're a side that I kind of backed to be at the top end of the table when we first spoke. They've got a new manager who has done well in this league last year. So we'll be looking to, ensure that we're kicking on. They'll be looking to kind of kickstart their season because they probably haven't had the start that they want. Not sure how they got in the trophy today, but they'll be coming to us, looking to make a dent in our start and hoping to give themselves a platform for, a better end to the season.
Ben, thanks for your time. Well done today. See you next week.
Thank you.